Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna change out the motor mounts on my W211 Mercedes-Benz E-Class. This task is widely discussed under Mercedes owners and seems like rocket science. Actually, the way to go is different depending on which car, all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive and engine you have. Mine is a 4MATIC equipped with the 5.5 V8 engine code M273. On my special car, it should be possible to extract the motor mounts through the wheel wells without removing any of the engine accessories, so let's give it a try. I've already been working on my car today. I changed out the oil separator here at the rear, and therefore the engine cover and the air intake had to be removed. You may want to watch this video afterwards. So there's already access to the motor mount bolts from the top, but undoing the bottom ones requires removing the lower engine cover. I decided against my rams today and let the air suspension do a little bit of the work. That's 9 times an 8mm hex. I'm now gonna loosen the bolts which attach the motor mount to the subframe. First on the right hand side. Of course I don't take it out. Now the left one. It's now up to undoing the upper bolts. This requires a 16mm hex socket and a knuckle, since both of the motor mounts are angled towards the engine. This one is out. Here on passenger side I don't want to get into contact with the alternator, and therefore I protect the extension with some plastic. This bolt won't be removed yet because I still will have to start up the engine. As you can see, the motor mount is already visible through a cutout. I have to say that I already attempted this work 2 years ago. The liner was out, but then it got dark and I had to stop. I put the liner back, but left out the rivets, so the only thing to unscrew now are the 10mm hex screws. Actually, that's not a hex screw, it's a hex nut sitting on a bolt, which, by the way, makes it tremendously difficult to get the liner out and back in. A third one facing upwards at the front. 2 more, but those are not 10mm, those obviously are 8mm. And 1 more at the rear, but that's 10mm hex. The final one, this only attaches the wheel well liner to the small cover at the very front. So, and now it's up to getting out the front liner somehow. It's extremely difficult because it's sitting underneath the rear one. One more connection here at the bottom. And actually that's a rivet. And here it goes. The edge is kind of rubber, while the rest of this liner is hard plastic. I have to pull down because the one bolt is sticking downwards here at the front, remember? One more plastic nut. So now I can pull this forward and actually it comes downwards as well. I was working around an hour when I was doing this the first time. Always, if one stud is out, another one drops back in. Voila! The front half of the wheel arch liner is out, finally. For raising the engine I of course need my hoist, but guess where it is. I'm a lucky guy. The plan is to put this loop around the engine mounting bracket and then use a chain to attach this to the hoist. Actually, I must try to get the loop around from here underneath, from the top. That's impossible to achieve. And here we go. Before lifting the engine up a little bit, I'm gonna remove the lower motor mount bolt. Unfortunately, the hoist is now in the way, but I guess I can achieve this through the wheel well. There it is. Actually, the engine is moving. And here it is. Even though this motor mount was never changed before, it's not that much depressed. There's a size difference, only about 5 mm compared to the new one. When installing the new mount now, I have to make sure that this tab mates the slot on the engine mounting bracket. Seems the engine must be raised a little bit again. The new mount is now positioned where it belongs. Just have to make sure the tab on top lines up correctly. I've now been fighting around 10 minutes to get the mount into its correct position. The key is to start at the bottom and try to get the lower bolt in. The hole is very small and doesn't allow any variation. So if the mount isn't exactly at its correct position, you won't get the bolt in, while the upper side aligns itself. As you can see, the engine is now again resting on the mount, and I can remove my loop. I dropped the upper bolt back in. It's not 100% centered, but it grabs the threads. Torque spec for the upper bolts is 55 Newton meters. And for the lower ones, it's 35 Newton meters. There's a stud here at the front, one on top, and the second, and one at the rear. And this liner has to slide over all of them, and underneath the second liner at the rear, and all the holes line up with the stud, so I can put back the plastic nuts. Now I can put back plastic rivet at the bottom, and finally two 8mm hex screws here at the front. The wheel liner is secured in place again. Come on, where's the 10mm socket? Finally the rivet here at the front. This one doesn't sit all too tight. Oh, I can remember here's a metal bracket at the rear, and the liner slides behind this metal bracket. Makes it even more difficult compared to driver's side. And here it is. The issue will be to get the loop around here space is tighter because of the front prop shaft. I was so lucky now that I forgot to undo the bolt, and here it is. The lower one is still inside as well, but no longer now. And it's moving again. And again, this is not as bad as I had expected. Again, the stud on the motor mount is aligned with the slot inside the mounting bracket. I should now be able to reinstall the upper bolt also. And again, it's not fully centered because the hoist is always pulling towards one side. The loop is out again. Again, I have to reinstall the real arch liner. Yeah, it seems fully seated now. And finally, the two hex screws at the front. Now it's up to reinstalling the lower engine cover, but of course no time for ramps at 9 PM. It's important to insert all the screws before tightening them down, otherwise it can happen that the one or another hole isn't in the correct position. It's quite easy to memorize. 3 left, 3 right and 3 at the front. Finally, I must put the air intake back in place. I have to make sure that this opening lines up with the intake at the rear. One more hose to connect, and finally the front engine cover. That's it already for today. If you enjoyed the video, you may want to give it a thumbs up or even subscribe to my channel. A lot more content also on the W211 will come up soon. See you back. Goodbye.